Hey there. We're going to get into live paint right now inside Illustrator. And that style is going to be very similar to like a kind of Comic Cell color shading kind of mode where you want some flat color with kind of strokes on top of it in another layer. And on my screen, I have some, just stunning illustrations. But as we kind of begin this, I'll start with this one on the left. And I use just the paint brush and this 5-point round brush to like just make some quadrants or some little blobs that some color could go in, so you can kind of understand what's going on here. And once I have finished that, I'll just use these blobs, and I'm kind of connecting them a little bit. And once I have them how I want them, I will select them all with the black arrow. So I drew a box around all this stuff. And then we're going to try to hunt down the live paint bucket, which is underneath the shape builder. So you're in the shape builder already. We're going to go live paint bucket. The shortcut's K. And if I'm anywhere outside of here, notice how it just like there's a no sign. There's like some colors and a bucket and a no sign. Unless I go over here, it says click to make a live paint group. That's what we'd like to do. So we're going to click this. It's going to give me a warning. It's going to say, hey, you use brushes on this. If you do this, you're going to lose the brushes. And I'm okay with that. So notice how it kind of changed it a little bit. I am going to change my layer for you. Notice how my layer's red. There's red over here. We're going to make that a little bit darker color, just so you can see that as I kind of move over here, there are these red kind of highlights. Each one of these, it found kind of an area where I can color. And the way that works is, I could pick a color up here if I wanted to. If you don't have these options, it would be in upper right corner, show options, if you want to mix a color. So I'm able to kind of pick a color if I want to and say, bam, fill that with this one. Fill this one over here. I could also use swatches, and Live Paint's kind of built on swatches that if I pick, I don't know, one of these blues, for instance, and notice how there are more colors sitting on my screen, this like little area by my mouse. These are the swatches showing up here. If I use these arrow keys, so look on your keyboard for the right and left arrow, this is me kind of cycling through the swatch colors. And I can pick these different colors there over here and add them into the areas. Purples, maybe a darker purple. Yeah. There's two of these areas that don't work though. Yeah, that's a little bit cleaner. Maybe orange. Yeah. So this is a kind of an easy way to fill in these colors, although these ones don't work, right? How do we fix those? It's a good question. If we zoom in, we can see why. So there's like little gaps in this area. And we have to kind of adjust some of the live paint options for this. So what I'm going to be doing is going to a very specific menu right now. I'm going to go to Object, Live Paint, and Gap Options. So Object, Live Paint, Gap Options. And when I pick that, it's going to try to detect any like problematic gap areas where I have this. And you'll see like a little notch if it finds them. So with this one, it found a couple down here. You can see these like red little dots. And I'm at small gaps. If I kick this to medium gaps, it says it found more. So I'll just show you small. It said it found 9. And you can see some of those dots around this area. If we go to medium, it said it found 11. And one of them was right here. See how that kind of just closed itself? Great. It found this one too. That closed itself. But I really want this one to close. So let's go up to large and we'll hope that one works. It did. So the large one, it closed everything the small and medium did, but it also closed this kind of gianty one. Now if that didn't work, I can go to custom as well and kind of kick this up until that thing closes. That would also be fine. So I'll keep it on large. And the previews here, you can see the red, that's where it worked. We'll hit OK. And what should happen is I go back to my Live Paint tool and this should work. Nice. And then this should work. Super nice, right? Now, if we zoom in close, that was zooming out, you can see this area is kind of just like hanging out here. We'll talk about a way to fix that a little bit later. So first thing I'd like you to do, try to do base live paint blobs. Let's try to do this one. So this was the same thing. This was just, my 5-point round brush. If you want to save your stroke lines, I would duplicate this. So this is going to be over here. I'll just have this for later. And I might even group it, Command G. So this will just be over around, okay? So I'll highlight this one. We'll do live paint group. It's going to kill all of the brushes that I was using. And this one's kind of a little bit more of a mess because some of them work, some of them don't. Look at that one. This one doesn't work. This one doesn't work. But see all these giant gaps that are over here? That one kind of closed. This one closed. Not bad. Not bad. If you would like, we can, let's do a quick custom swatches. So what I'm going to do is make a couple boxes here. And I'm going to mix some colors. So like some fancier colors. Yeah, this will be my colors. So, what I did for this, let's talk this through. So I made some boxes with no strokes. I filled in some custom colors, colors that I wanted to use for this live paint. In my swatches panel here, I hit the folder, new color group. They're all selected, so they're all these squares are selected. I hit the new color folder, so a new color group. Selected artwork, so it's just going to pick the colors out of these little guys, and I hit OK. And what that did was it brought all 4 of those into my swatches. So that, when I use that live paint, I can just pick these couple easy swatches. And I can fill those in and then just go kind of right and left from them. So you can bring in any of those colors you wish. Maybe I'll have to edit that one. This one doesn't work. This one does work. So let's check out the gap options. Live paint gap options. So large was defaulted when I make this. So that means these are bigger than large gaps. You can see some of the red. This one closed. So on this one, I'd have to go custom. And I'd have to like kick this up until it finds them. So it just found this. It just found this. This is probably too big. There it goes. So it found this one too. It found that one too. So I can hit OK. And it looks like it closed this into a different one as well. So in case I wanted to maybe make this a different color. Yeah. Looking good. If I wanted to be in charge of physically closing these things. So instead of live paint, gap options, if I just go back down to like medium or something, some of these will go away. I'll use, let's just use the basic brush. I'm going to close them just so you can see them. All right. Now I'm going to pick everything again, and you can see I still have, you can blatantly see where I closed these areas. Object, live paint, and merge. It's going to say I'm taking away all your brushes. That's okay. These should drop, and that looks a little bit cleaner. And then when I get back in here, this looks a little bit nice as well, you know. So I'm able to pick my colors. Let's pick our good colors for this area. So that, I used the brush. I closed them myself. I picked everything. I dragged a box around it all. Object, live paint, and then I merged when I had that. That's how I did that. Okay. Now, at the end of the day, when you're ready, if you did fancy brushes around stuff, you can have this live in front of it. you know, your fancy brushes can still survive, and they can be on, I would definitely put them on a new layer. So you'd have like a live paint layer and, you know, just the top brushes layer. And then these can just kind of live on top of it or hidden until you're done with your live paint. So live paint's a little complicated to start. Once you get the hang of it, you'll get the hang of it. I'd like you to try the basics of this and then probably come back here. But this is what that looks like. That I have these two on Google Classroom for you. This is Stompy. We're going to start with Stompy. This is Stompy's friend. I'll just embed them in here. And these are the kind of two areas you'll start with. That I'll make a new layer for Stompy. And inside of this one, you know, I'm going to be using some brush tools, using some brush tools and kind of, you know, adjusting some of his robotness. If you want to add a little extra features on Stompy, yes, of course you can. But I did, you know, this image has some, you know, small pieces and some large pieces for you to kind of explore and see if you need, you know, a try gap options. Try some of those, you know, I'll add or merge inside of my live paint group. You get to decide if he's going to be, you know, robotic colors, fancy colors, rainbow colors. You get the choice. And definitely reference this film if things aren't working, because start with you know, just basics. Make sure you have a foundation of that, and then really live paint's easy after that. If you can do the gaps and do the merge, you're fine. You're fine. Okay, I think you're good to go. Enjoy live paint. I know a lot of people were hoping for something like this that will let you easily fill in colors without having to deal with the pen tool all the time. See you later.